to be Star Wars, but after you finish that third movie, it's kind of like, well,
what else?
Where do you go?
Yeah.
Like, what do you do? Like, I'm even asking that same question, even going into the third movie. In the third movie, what's going aside from death? What's going to happen to our main characters? Like, that's like what's going to happen. So for me, now that I think about it, I do think it will be a series that our generations would watch, but I don't think it will ever hit Star Wars hype unless this movie miraculously maybe hits $1 billion. Then we could probably have that conversation.
Yeah. I think it. So I think it does have. So I think I don't know if I'm right, but I think there's like 9 books, right? There's 9 books. So we're still on like book 1, right? We might be a little into book 2. So there's a lot of content left and story for them to tell. So it's definitely going to be more than a trilogy.
It's not just going to be a trilogy. It's not just.
It's going to be like a franchise. It will be like Star Wars in that way. I think.
If they do it that way, would you want Denis to stop at 3 and have a new director pick up the reins?
No. Yeah, I like. So I think that's the difference, though. Is like, so when you think about the environment and the type of movie Dune is, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it's not like it's kind of not like that, like family friendly movie. It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be like epic, cinematic, like world. Yeah. Like I'm like immersed into it, right? If I'm thinking of Star Wars, like I'm not that immersed into Star Wars. I'm just having a good time watching it. Like maybe there are some moments where I'm immersed to it, like when they're fighting, or if there's like some epic like thing that goes on, you find out in the story. But it's very like family friendly. It's very like oh, this is Star Wars. This is so cool. This is like. But Dune is like, what's going on? Like, oh my gosh, like it's a different feeling. So I feel like if they keep that up the whole time, I just wonder about the longevity of it. Like it's kind of like one of those things where it's like when you watch something so good and you kind of just want to not tear down that memory of how good it was, because when you rewatch it and it's not like hitting like Star Wars is, right? When you rewatch it, it's like, oh, that was good, but like
it wasn't the first time.
Yeah, it's hard to relive the experience of watching Dune for the first time again, right? Like that feeling is hard to recreate over and over again for them to do this like for the next 10 years, right? If they make movies for the next 10 years, I wonder about the longevity of that feeling that they can keep recreating or not,
Yeah, and that was dope because when you said that, I immediately thought of when I saw Across the Spider-Verse, and then when it came out on Netflix, I rewatched it on Netflix. Good movie, but it didn't feel the same.
Yeah.
It really didn't feel the same.
Yeah.
A lot different. A lot different. Some movies they really like. I would recommend anybody go to the movies to see Dune Part 2. Don't wait.
Yeah.
This is not one you can just wait. Like it will not feel the same. It will not feel the same unless
you can. And I feel like I was robbed because I never saw the first one in theaters.
Oh yeah. The first one in theaters was even honestly like seeing the first one in theater was even crazier than the second one because it was so like soundtrack focused and like just that noise like that was like the first movie. I feel like that IMAX experience or that like experience like was definitely super soundtrack focused, whereas this one like had a little bit more story, it had a little bit more like grit to it, like in depth. So you could watch it even